Alright, there we go. I am 100% expecting to have to, I'm having to piece this thing together because every once in a while I gotta stop. Because I am not feeling well, which is the number one problem why I haven't really been posting videos a lot right now. Because I'm sick as a dog. It's wonderful right now trying to record when you are fighting nausea. Anyways, this right here, the thing you see on your screen, because Joe's shirtless right now, so he didn't want to just record himself. I'm feeling sick. I've got a bag right next to me in case I vomit again. I have to keep pausing and starting over the video. Well, I'm actually just trying to do this one all the way through because I haven't thrown up for a while. Anyways, what you're seeing on your screen is called the Circle of Diversity. It's a new thing that's, I don't know who originally made this, but I want to thank them so much because this is 100% the reason why I'm starting to get ticked off at everything right now. So the number one is, the number one thing is, we make something, and then we demand to be included in your space to make it more diverse and inclusive. Step 2, we demand you change this space to our liking and ban stuff that offends us. Step 3, we demand you be kicked out of the space that we created since you offended us. Step 4, lol, if you hate us, why not just make your own space? We demand to be included in your space to make it more diverse and inclusive. We demand you change this space to our liking and ban stuff that offends us. We demand you be kicked out of the space we created since you offended us. Lol, if you hate us, why not just make your own space? I am so tired because this is true. This is so true. And this is why I'm sick of stuff and why I'm just, I've been playing 40K for forever. But someone had the gall to tell me they've been playing longer than me and then get all the facts wrong, which pointed out that they weren't playing longer than me. But so I play Sisters of Battle, and there's this huge movement right now that Sisters of Battle models are sexist because they happen to have boob plate. But when you look at it, it's not actually. Anyways, these same people are toting all this other stuff, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this isn't really boob plate compared to, the stuff that you guys love and play and crap. But, yeah, so I posted all this stuff about Sisters of Battle, and she's like, well, I've been playing Sisters of Battle since the beginning of the game back in First Ed, and yada yada, and then this. And I'm like, Sisters of Battle weren't an army until Third Ed. They didn't even exist. They weren't even mentioned really until kind of Second Ed, and there was no first edition of the game. No one calls it First Ed. We call it Rogue Trader because that's what it was. The first edition of Warhammer 40K was Rogue. Basically I called them out and all their hypocrisy, and then they banned me from. I got removed from the forum because I pointed out that all the inconsistencies in their statement to prove that they actually haven't been playing it that long. But anyways, so right now this is happening everywhere. That's why it's no longer, Comics Gate, Anime Gate, all this stuff. No, it's the Nerd Wars. Right now, nerd culture is 100%. Oh. Okay, don't get too excited, Joe. Okay. Oh, right now, nerd culture is 100% under attack. And I hate it. I want to go back to being well, heck, we are made fun of, actually. Actual nerds are made fun of left and right all the time. Actual nerds. Because, the idiot jocks that, now it's cool to be I don't really want to call them idiot jocks, because it's not the jocks that are doing this. I actually like jocks. I've got quite a few friends who are jocks. It's the outcasts that are doing this. The idiots that nobody wants to be friends with and push them off to the side. They're coming over and they're basically trying to promote it and stuff. It's a lot. It pisses me off, actually. Everywhere I look, we're being attacked. For making things. For liking things. And the people who actually created stuff, hey, George Lucas, he's under attack by the people who bought it and ruined it, saying that we need to leave that they created this Star. Like, you didn't create this. George Lucas made this. You didn't create crap. In fact, Disney hasn't created anything. All the princesses, sorry, those are all folklore tales. Really. And you slaughter the folklore tales anyways. Like, Disney hasn't made anything ever. I'm not a fan of Disney. Even Steamboat Willie is taken from an old black and white film. A comedy, and it's like, oh, but it's an old black and white cartoon. It's like, yes, it is. Based off of an old cartoon, off of an old film. I don't like Disney. I really don't. Like, I went and watched Wreck-It Ralph, and it was okay. I liked it better than I thought I would, but all the politics that was snuck into a shoehorn, you could see, like, ooh, BuzzTube. Yeah, BuzzFeed. I see what you're doing there. Bullcrap. BuzzFeed is so important. They even mention YouTube, but BuzzFeed is bigger than YouTube. No, it's not. I liked it better than I thought it did. I didn't like the Disney princesses, or the fact that they weren't Disney I didn't like Penelope Von Blubberguts, but then again, I didn't really like her in the first one either, because she was an annoying brat. Who did have all of her problems fixed by a big, strong man. Because, without Wreck-It Ralph, nothing would have changed. Like, I could go through destroying utterly all of the pro-feminist arguments that they tried to bring up in Wreck-It Ralph. But, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I did like Shank. I liked Shank, and I liked, Yes. Those two characters I did like. I liked Shank, and I liked Yes. I didn't really like Ralph at all. And, of course, I've never liked Penelope, so I continued not liking Penelope. There it goes. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, this is the circle of diversity. This is what is destroying and causing the nerd war. Because Comicsgate has given up on Marvel and DC. We're not, heck, none of us are asking to work there, for one thing. And yes, I understand my comic book isn't out yet, nor do I have a lot of leaks to even give you. So what am I doing saying? I still stand with Comicsgate, even though my comic is probably years. Which is why I haven't even started an Indiegogo, because I gotta finish at least writing it out. The world building is done, but I need to finish writing the first chapter before I gotta finish writing it, and then I gotta draw it, and then I gotta... Yeah. There's a lot of work left to do, so I'm not even gonna... And plus, I don't... Like, I understand Indiegogo I like better than most of the crowdfunded plan. But I'm not a fan of crowdfunding, because I feel like I need to produce something before I should be, paid to produce. Now, Indiegogo I think is great, and people like Ethan Van Sciver, ya boy Zach, which even though everyone knows his name now, I'm still not going to use it because I don't like this doxing crap. Anyways, people like those guys, they actually have produced something before, and so them going and doing crowdfunding makes a little more sense to me, because they have a history of making something. But me crowdfunding, and this is all me, I don't, you keep doing what you keep doing, I don't care. But this is my thought process, why I don't crowdfund. Me crowdfunding, I've never made anything before. Well, I've never made and published anything before. So, why should I tell people to pay me to take a risk I've never done before? So, I'm going to wait until I at least have something to show for it. Like, I'm going to make the first one, draw it out, and then I'll crowdfund maybe to publish it. But I think that's about as far as I'll go with crowdfunding. And then maybe I'll crowdfund for part 2. Or chapter 2, whatever. But I want to at least prove to myself that I can do this before I tell other people, hey, you should pay me to do this. Or, hey, you should pay for me to make something that you want. Which is, the market anyways. Hey, I'm making something. You want it? Here you go. But yeah, right now we've got this stupid diversity stuff. Hey, I'm making something. You want it? Great. Oh, I want to join that. Okay, awesome. I love fans. Now it's mine. What? Now get out. But I made this. Get out. Okay. Gosh darn you, Disney, and your squeaky voiced protagonists. Antagonists, actually. And heck, yeah. I'm ranting right now because I'm sick. This is day 3, so I'm hoping I'm going to be done with this. I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to sneak upstairs and try to record the rest of that video anyways. I started working on... Oh, dang it, my mic. Stop being crappy like that, mic. Anyways, I went upstairs and I started recording part 2 of words. I don't like words today. I started recording part 2 of... Does the green thing mean that I went over it? Is this pushing its crap wherever it wants? Ah, dang it. Whatever. Anyways, I went upstairs and I started recording part 2 of the smithy, and then I'm looking down and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna vomit. So yeah, all I did was prep the area really for it, and so the area's prepped up. But that was the beginning of me being sick. So that's why nothing happened, is because then the next, I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. Went back downstairs, got rid of my lunch because apparently I didn't want it inside me. And then I've been basically bedridden for the next few days. And then I tried to go. I was like, hey, I'm going to, I went and laid down. I'm like, I don't feel very well. And then my brother's like, hey, let's go to Walmart real quick. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do a quick run to Walmart. It's only, 15 minutes away. We'll drive there. We'll buy the couple items you want, and then we'll come home. Yeah, I should have known better. 5 hours later, we come home, and by then, it's done. I have whatever I could have done to defeat this horrible thing before it took over is gone, and I just spend the next 2 hours solid removing everything from my system. I start to feel a little bit better. I try eating something, and then it comes right back up. And that's basically been my life for the last few days. And you're like, but Joe, you didn't record. You haven't posted anything before that for a couple of days. It was the weekend. I'm busy on the weekend. I was helping Ben post things. We have a new Minecraft video up. That's an excuse. That's what we call an excuse. I haven't posted anything for a while, and I apologize. So here's a political rant video because it doesn't... All I need to do is a little bit of research. Although this one's a rant one, so I didn't even have to research. I just had to look at a picture and get triggered. Oh, gosh. Ow. Yeah, it's another thing. SJW culture is getting so infectious that anti-SJWs are becoming SJWs. And I've got to watch it that I don't do that. Because the only person I can really make do anything is myself. So I'm going to, I'm going to really watch that I don't become the thing that I'm attacking. And, I need to keep, basically, you attack the hate and ignore everything else. Attack Brie Larson for being an idiot and then ignore everything else. But it looks like that's most of the film. I'm not going to say that because I haven't seen it. I'm not going to watch it, actually, so I guess I can't really. All I'm going to talk about is Brie Larson, not the movie, because I haven't seen the movie and I don't plan on seeing the movie. So I didn't really like this iteration of Carl. I haven't liked Carl Danvers anyways, so I didn't want to watch the movie to begin with because I don't like Carol Danvers. Okay, that one was a lot better than Vomit, so I'll go with that. I haven't liked Carol Danvers, so that didn't bother me. And then they made a movie, so I'm like, I don't like her, I'm not going to watch it anyways. And then Brie Larson started talking, and I'm like, all you're doing is making me not want to watch it more, instead of want to watch it. Like, Carol Danvers is a great show of what basically the diversity wheel is. So there was a Captain Marvel's, Monica Rambeau. She was an African American woman, the leader of the Avengers in the '80s before I was born. So I can't really read the comics back then because I'm a '90s baby. Um, I still feel old now, but I still feel old because there's so many babies online anymore. I'm a baby next to Ethan Van Sciver, but I'm still old. Anyways, so so they replace Monica Rambeau with Carol Danvers, who kind of was a character beforehand, whose most famous thing ever is accidentally being put into a coma by Rogue. And that's really the only good thing she's ever done with her life, is she gave Rogue the ability to fly. Woo! That's all she should have ever been known for. Anyways, and so then they take her out of a coma, and they never should have done that. She should have stayed in the coma for the rest of the world, and we would have been fine. But these new owners of Marvel, after chasing Stan Lee out, basically, because if you look at his contract, Stan Lee hasn't been a part of comic book Marvel for years, and they waited for him to die, basically, before destroying the MCU, because he was the only thing standing between us and the MCU. Most of the contracts with the Marvel movies was with Stan Lee, not Marvel the company. But anyways, I digress. And so Carol Danvers, they recreate her, and she is a horrible human being. Other people do better videos of pointing out how horrible of a human being Carol Danvers is. She is a fascist by the very declaration of the word. Basically, if you say something I don't agree with, she will literally put you in a coma, which is what she did to Iron Man, because Iron Man pointed out that, hey, you're jailing people without a trial. That's not the American way. This is Civil War II. And so what happened to Iron Man? Well, he got put in a coma by Carol Danvers because he proved to her with science and irrefutable evidence that what she was doing had no benefit and was all fascism and thought police and thought criming, which would have been, I'm like, awesome, let's have this debate about thought crimes and the Minority Report and this whole preventative culture of arresting people for thinking things, because if they think it, they might do it. Let's have a debate about that. I'm okay with that. This actually could be a great comic. Let's have this view of differing opinion of, Carol Danvers standing for the point of, we're trying to keep people safe. We're doing all this to try and keep people safe, and putting that argument forward, the good part of thought policing and minority reporting, because if we focused on this more, maybe we could have weeded out the crimes before they happen. Maybe we could, stop people from killing people before they ever killed people if we monitored thought more, and yada yada, and this and that. And then, have Iron Man being but what about personal liberty and personal accountability? What about laying the blame at the criminal, the person that doesn't just think the thoughts, but actually goes forward and does that, And that would have been a great, fight. I would have loved that. But no, the actual Civil War fight is, I'm arresting people because a seer that sees the future. By the way, this isn't anything new. There are several other Marvel characters that can see the future, Psylocke being one of them. But this person who can see the future, I'm using them to arrest people before they do a crime, even though it's proven that he only sees probabilities of the future. And Captain Marvel comes out and says, but he's only seeing probabilities of the future, arresting people because of, a probability is fascism. And so she punches him, knocks him unconscious, and we continue with the comic. And the whole thing that ends the comic is the psychic, the guy that sees the future, evolves into a greater alien energy spirit and leaves the planet Earth forever behind him. And that's the end. So there's no really confliction of, woot! he, I guess he chose not to kill us all, and that's the end. There's no debate, no great thought, no, Civil War I was actually really good, and I liked the Civil War comic books more than I liked the Civil War movie, but that's just because Ben does point out that, hey, this actually is brought up in the movie, and I'm like, oh, I apologize. I guess I need to watch it again, because all I really remember from the movie is Iron Man and Captain Marvel fighting over, or I should say, Bucky and Captain America and Iron Man fighting over who's Captain America's best friend, even though Iron Man and Captain America have never had a good repertoire in any of the movies beforehand. But that's, apparently I need to watch the movie again, because Ben's like, no, there's several points in here where they actually bring up the right act and the needing to register your superpower and superhero and stuff. I'm like, really? I thought that was more brought up in other movies like Infinity War and. Although Infinity War, again, I didn't really like it. I'm not a good person to go to, because I don't like most movies, because I think most movie writers are crap, because, there's too many plot holes, too many thought breaks, and a lot of the stuff I'm like, this could be very easy to fix by, after you writing it, handing it to somebody and going, what's wrong? And having somebody read through it and going, well, you didn't research what this is, for one point. You just said this without doing any, my biggest two problems with most movie writers is lack of research and too many plot holes, and that's why I've stopped watching television. And I stopped reading comics, because Marvel Comics is trash. Although I'm starting to read Comics Gate Comics again, because I like them. And then, of course, I read Japanese manga, and then I read old Dragonlance books, and then I read... I shouldn't be looking at my bookcase while I make this, because I'm looking at all the different books I read, and I'm like, I still read. Anyways, and I'm writing, so there's that. Oh, and I just read, I probably shouldn't link it to my political stuff, because she doesn't deserve that either, but one of my friends finally published, and so I'm woot, 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 awesome for her. It's a short story in an analogy thingy, basically, where they have a bunch of short stories. But hey, that's a step above me. She's actually published. I haven't published anything yet. I've been trying to work on that to get published since... I've been working to get published since I was in elementary school. I used to make things and hand them to my parents and say, we should send this in, and I'll make things, and then people can look at them and they can tell me whether they like it or not, and I can fix things, and I can make things, and I want people to see things that I make. Like, it wasn't until I was older that I'm like, I can make money off of this? But, yeah. I just wanted to spread things and have people look at things so that way I could talk to them, and I wanted to play D&D in the world that I made instead of the world of D&D. And I'm like, and then my brother's like, well, we can't play it in your world because we don't know about your world. And that's when I was like, oh, I should write out my world then. So I started writing out my world, and then we played D&D in it. And I was like, this is awesome. I want to play in my world more often. And it's like, well, then you need to publish it so more people can know about it. It's like, I will do this. I will publish this so people can play in my world and I can talk to people about my world. And then later on it's like, and then you can make money. I can make money doing this? I can make money having people play in my world? And then here comes Joe so many years later. But then again, I guess it's not too bad because I'm only 28. So, I'm 28 and I'm finally getting to the point that I'm almost about to publish. And everyone's like, yeah, look at this child superstar. He published when he was 13. I'm like, well, I wasn't that good, okay? When I was 13, my writing was crap. My writing's still crap. But when I was 13, it was bigger crap. So, yay for you for being a good writer, Panoli. I pronounced his name wrong. Aragon. Good, the guy who wrote Aragon. Good for you for being a young genius. I was a young, slightly above average person. I kept being called a genius. I kept scoring really high on tests. But I'm like, dude, it's just noticing patterns. That's all tests is. Ooh, it's a pattern. You notice the pattern, you win. Like, even normal tests. Like, especially if it's a multiple choice test, all you gotta do is look at the answers and plug them back into the equation and you win. Woot. Does that mean I'm good at math? No. I suck at math. But if you give me 4 different answers it could be, by process of elimination, I can usually find out which one's the actual answer. Does that mean I'm a genius? No. Please stop calling me a genius, school. Every time you call me a genius, you bump me up 2 grades. Or actually, yeah, this did happen. I went from 7th grade or 6th grade math. Yeah, 6th grade. I went from 6th grade math to algebra. That's a lot of steps that you skip there. What's that clicking noise? There's a clicking noise somewhere and it's bothering me. I don't know what it is. If it's a mouse, my cat needs to find it and kill it. Anyways, this rant is starting to become about things that this rant shouldn't have been about. Dang it! This is what I get for making videos while sick. So I don't remember what I was even talking about. Diversity circle. There you go. Love you all. Joe's sick. I'm going to go try and make another video that's actually coherent. And I'm really debating that I probably shouldn't after making a half an hour long video of me ranting about things that doesn't make sense. Crap. I'm a horrible person. I don't even know what the heck. Where am I? Who are you? Who am I? Where am I? Slowly closes the closet door. Gosh dang it, where's that freaking nibbling, bouncing noise coming from?